legendary role-playing game franchise.
Legendary role-playing game franchise. Are we gonna? Oh, Final Fantasy!
My sword, I swear, to shield the Firebird's flame.
This is not Final Fantasy 16. This what? Wait. This is fucking. Yeah, I was like, this has to be fucking. Yes. Let's go.
The only fantasy here is yours.
Oh my god.
Flames burn as one.
This is so fucking hype, dude. Because fuck Tifa and fuck you.
No, they're not.
Because they're not. That's not the recent game. This is the recent game.
That's great.
I'm gonna have such a difficult time choosing a main now. Oh my god. Son of a bitch. I don't even know what the fuck Jeff is talking about anymore, dude. Like, I don't even care. Like,
One eternity later.
there he is. God, like Clive just looks so good. Game is going under maintenance, so only certain things are fucking working right now. So, he genuinely looks really good. His face looks weird sometimes, but everything else, as you can see, we can't change his hair. We can only change the color of his hair. Could probably make a Shadow Clive. Oh, him with the fucking hood. Oh, that's fucking sick. Him with the hood on. And like him without a shirt on. But like, you know. Yeah, like I said, like a bunch of women just fucking passed out worldwide.
Can you do anything with the bottom part?
So I've been playing Clive for a few days now, just to try him out. Not even touching ranked yet. I just wanted to feel him out as a character, and after all that time and seeing people's impressions on him, there's a few things I've taken away from it. Despite his new moves being made up specifically for his Tekken appearance, they all feel very much like things Clive would do. His actual moves from the game are very faithfully recreated, and Clive feels powerful and relentless to go against when you know what you're doing. That being said though, there's very clearly some moves that feel incredibly strong to the point where there's no reason not to use them. Forward 1+2 is the most obvious, but he has plenty of other moves that are just very good to use. Despite that though, a majority of his moves seem to be pretty unsafe, and while he has a decent amount of low pokes, they pale in comparison to the rest of his kit that keeps his momentum going. Not to mention all of his sweeps are launchable, so there's that to consider. His Zanzetsuken is honestly ridiculous, and the fact that all levels of it deal unscaled damage is pretty wild to consider. You don't exactly have to wait until level 5 to use it. If you're a good judge, you can use it on level 2 and get cheesy kills with it. Lore accurate, by the way. Overall, Clive is insanely fun to use, and while I'm not credible enough to speak on his ease of use or how he stacks up compared to other characters, I feel he's a fine addition to contrast a lot of other characters you can find in the game. He's refreshing in his own way. Though, when talking about Clive, the elephant in the room has to be addressed. Is he a better choice than someone like Tifa? Despite people not even knowing a guest character was a possibility until a few days before the announcement, people were still disappointed it wasn't someone like Tifa. I personally would have preferred Kiryu or Snake myself, but honestly Clive is not as bad of a pick as it seems. It being another Final Fantasy character aside, Clive's character and story echoes the themes found in Tekken 8. This meeting fate is pretty much just another way of breaking free of one's predetermined destiny, hence the chains being broken in Tekken 8's marketing, and more literally in the story when Jin does that exact thing. Clive is a character much like Jin, with a power he didn't choose being pushed on him for a purpose that serves somebody else's selfish purposes. And much like Jin in Tekken 8, Clive denies that and fights his own fate, not just for himself, but for everyone else that led him to be at that point. Now be honest with me, what does Tifa or any other potential guest character have in relation to the other Tekken characters besides them being martial artists? Even Akuma and Geese Howard have more reason to be in Tekken than Tifa does, because them being villains gives a lot of narrative possibilities as to their inclusion. But Tifa, Kiryu, or even Snake have very loose threads at best. Clive has already been isekai'd once into another Final Fantasy. It happening again is not very far-fetched for him. Beyond that, him being a Final Fantasy poster boy is way better than it was for Noctis, because Clive has access to all the main icons as part of his kit. Like it or not, Clive is the best possible choice for a guest character in multiple areas, outside of fan demand apparently. And as much as I personally would have liked a different character, I gotta say I can't really complain about Clive. You could do much worse than him. And if you're going to really go the angle of Tekken being mainly about martial arts, then you're just willingly ignoring all the elements of Tekken that were there since the start for your own convenience. Whether or not characters like Azazel or Jinpachi were in ranked or not is not the point. It's the fact that they're in the game at all. Tekken has always been on the weirder side of things, and for a series as long-running as it is, it was only natural for the series to have to evolve and make things crazier. There's only so many times you can have a tournament without much other stakes involved and nothing else changing until it gets old. The tournament itself stopped being the forefront of the series since Tekken 4. After that, it's always been a tournament being announced and then nothing really happening, until Tekken 8, where even the tournament there was on purpose to lure people in for Kazuya's actual main plan. There's honestly nothing more draining than talking about Tekken's themes, characters, and overall design when most people don't care about it because they only play ranked. Tekken has always been more than that, and people will just need to get used to it. So whether it's Clive or anybody else, Tekken will always try to push the boundaries and make something surprising that people are not going to expect. And based on the reactions, they seem to be doing just that. And it seems to be bringing over people from both sides of the community that wouldn't have played either game if it wasn't for this collaboration. The reality is that the Bandai Namco and Square Enix collaboration being this easy should be commended, because usually these kinds of collaborations take a lot of effort and a lot of handshakes to make happen. But the fact that Harada and Yoshi P seem to be cool with each other, this is actually able to happen a lot easier compared to any other collaboration that would have happened. Harada has said it himself that he basically needs to contact Sega or any other company and figure out a way to get in touch with them to make these kind of collaborations happen. The fact that he has Capcom and Square Enix at the ready for these kinds of things means that these kinds of collaborations can happen very easily in either direction. Like, we might get a Tekken collaboration in Final Fantasy XIV, for example, which I would be totally down for, by the way. But other than that, like, the possibilities are truly endless. And the fact that they're mutually agreeable to this kind of thing happening should be celebrated more. Because if it wasn't the case, we would not get any guest character at all, and it would just be the same few characters every few years. At least these kind of collaboration keeps things fresh and makes these games a lot more interesting long term. But you don't have to like Clive as a guest character. You don't even need to like him being included in Tekken. But you gotta admit, the fact that these kinds of collaborations are able to happen at all is actually kind of nice. And I hope that their relationship continues and we get other crazy things to come out of it, and not just collaborations with two specific games. Only time will tell how this ends up going, so that kind of ends my thoughts on Clive and his inclusion in Tekken. So let me know what you guys think, and I'll be catching you guys in the next one.